Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's broadcast of The Grove. We are a loving, supportive, magical, and meditation community, and I'm here every week on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to share with you some magic and meditation. Today, we're going to be talking about resistance and how that applies in so many aspects of our life. But before that, I do want to welcome all of you. If this is your first time, I want to let you know how grateful I am that you are here joining us and watching us. We do keep a very casual vibe about it. So please, I hope you will feel comfortable and feel free to join in the chat if there is a chat where this is broadcasting as well. Please feel free to leave comments, get to know other members of our community. You'll find that everyone is very nice and is always there to support each other with knowledge, information, and an uplifting word as needed. So, once again, I'm here to serve you. Please let me know what I can do better, and welcome. Before we get started, as usual, I'd like to take a moment to invite the Great Mother to join us to bless our time together. So if you'll join me. O great Lady of the night and of the silvery moon, she whom is the darkness and the light that shines through it, hail to thee, great Lady of the moon, and hear us, your children, as we ask of your divine presence here within this circle of light, where we have come to partake of the great beauty, the strength, and the wisdom that is within each and every one of us. Blessed be. Welcome. So today's reading from the Book of One is what chapter is it? It is chapter 23 on page 79 of the Book of One. If you don't have a copy of my book, please by all means you are welcome to grab one at Amazon or on my website, or any online book retailers has it available. But I chose this one particularly today because of the fact that it talks about what's the opposite of resistance? Acceptance. And the title of this passage is Acceptance. Why do you create chaos for yourselves? Probably because you impose your will when you should not. This is why unhappiness occurs. You must learn to recognize the will of one source and flow with it. Enjoy it to your highest capacities when happiness is present. Wallow in dark sorrow when sadness or depression is present. This is accepting and experiencing life as created by you. You being one. In acceptance, there is peace. So join me now for a short minute meditation to help us ground and even contemplate the words that we just heard from the Book of One. So join me in taking a deep breath, closing your eyes, and just quiet your mind. Allow your mind to relax. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly, and exhale. Breathing in, I am calm. Breathing out, I am in peace. Blessed be. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, my inspirational talk for today is going to be on resistance. And it was interesting because, first of all, I hope everyone had a lovely holiday time. Today is January 4th, if you're watching this live or the archive. We're recording this on the 4th. And we just had the holidays, and it was, I hope it was great. I had a wonderful time. Actually, it was probably the best holiday season I've had in years. But with that being said, quite honestly, I was at a loss for writing today's show. And this morning, I was inspired to write a post about resistance on my personal Facebook profile. If those of you who follow me there, you probably saw it. And I'm not going to go into the ins and out of that particular post because some people might find it political or conspiratorial or anything, and I don't want to talk about that on the show. But what did inspire me was that I was having a conversation with someone last week about anxiety. I'm sure some of you might know that I've recently been having a lot of anxiety ever since I had a little bit of a trauma back in June of 2021. And ever since then, I really haven't been able to quite shake it off. I'm probably due for my own shamanic soul retrieval after a traumatic experience, which we will be doing in the coming weeks, as I like to do one at the beginning of every year. But during the conversation, this person had said to me, "And what happens when you sense anxiety or something causes you anxiety?" And I'm like, well, of course, immediately my central nervous system tightens up, and I'm like, oh no, here we go again. And I try to resist. I try to resist the anxiety from coming. And and then she said something to the effect, "Have you ever thought of just letting it be and accepting it?" And I was like, but you resist persists. Something, an old adage I learned 20 years ago at what was it, Landmark Forum or one of those EST trainings or whatnot. And I was like, wow, that really could be applied here. It's a philosophy that we use, that I use at metaphysical teachings and classes and with students and whatnot, of, as a magical being, it is my intention to be in alignment with my higher self at all times and to make my decisions and to act from that place of that centered, I don't want to say controlled, but I will say clear headspace. And when this person had brought up to me the idea of not resisting my anxiety when it rears its head, and I bring this up because I'm sure many of us out there right now are dealing with similar anxious issues, whether it be with what's happening in the world around you or in your private life or in your personal life or your health or whatnot. We all have anxiety in today's world. And she said, accept the anxiety, accept it. Don't, she said, invite it in, let it sit down, but don't let it hang out forever. In other words, let it be a part of you. And immediately my mind went into the idea of how we are constantly talking about, well, those of us in the field are always talking about our shadow self and how our shadow self is a part of the wholeness of who we are. I just never had that 2 + 2 = 4 moment that my anxiety could be an aspect of my shadow self. could be a part of myself that I must allow to exist for now, doesn't have to exist forever, and that those anxious moments are a part of the whole of who I am. And then my mind kept going on and on how I'm always, saying to you, saying to my clients, my coaching clients, my tarot clients, my intuitive counseling clients, how it's important that we remember that we are only human beings or spirits having a human experience. And my motto is empower your human experience. Well, the things that are thrown and thrust upon us in life that we are taken aback by or taken by surprise. If you're like me, I have a bit of a type A personality, and I'm like, oh, well, this doesn't fit my schedule. I don't have time for this. Or I begin to get anxiety over things like this. So I found that the idea of having anxiety is, for me right now, is a part of my human experience. And this is, I'm just using this as an example. We could fill in the blank with any of these things that you yourself may be resisting of something that is a part of your life, whether it could be within your home or within your family. It could be a family member, an in-law, something to that effect. It could be things that the media say. It could be things about what's going on in the world today that we're all resisting. And I said it in my post this morning that I firmly believe in elevating justice and elevating equality. And I do consider myself a social justice activist, an equality activist, and all of those things. But I don't, I don't, I'm not inspired to do them because I'm resisting the counter of equality, the counter of social justice. I do it because I'm inspired that I believe with all of my heart, and I know with all of my heart that all of us are one human family, and I act from that principle when I do my activism. I'm doing this because I feel that members of my human family are being, taken aback or, you know, not not living to their full potential due to the oppression of circumstances, whether they be economic or racial disparities or whatever it might be, or LGBT issues, all those things. I believe we're all one human family. So that's where I draw my inspiration for my activism from. You all know me, I call myself a sacred activist, not a political activist. I don't care about politics one way or another. I care about issues. I don't care about the bickering that goes on and on between these parties and whatnot. I care about the issues and I care about results. With that being said, resistance. We are always going to find ourselves resisting something, and it will be to our detriment. When we come from a place of resistance, what we are doing is one, the first thing that we're doing is we are not in a place of acceptance. For those of you that know anything about 12-step programs, the very first thing they tell you to do is to accept. Admit there's a problem. Admit it. Admit this is what's going on. Okay, this is what's happening. I'm not going to make believe. I'm not going to be in denial that, this is right or this is wrong. I got to get my judgments out of there. Let me just accept the situation for what it is. And in that acceptance of the situation for the way it is, and not reacting from a place of resisting the situation, we have the clarity of mind to take proactive steps. You understand what I mean by that? Maybe 10 years ago, Abraham Hicks had this wonderful little clip called The Stream. I think she called it The Stream. and how she talks about how source energy is a constant river flowing, and every once in a while we're going to hit up against a rock or whatnot, and we instinctually as human beings, our ego or whatnot, want to resist the rock, or we want to resist the flow of the river, so we try to swim upstream, and all we're doing is tiring ourselves out. We're making ourselves exhausted for something that is inevitable in the flow of the universe. When she said all we have to do is let ourselves go with the tide of the stream and, roll around the rock as you hit the rock, But you see where I'm going with this. The universe, and, whether it be your family or whether it be politicians or whatever it is, they're not being personal. They're not attacking you personally. Usually it's their actions are coming from a place of fear as well. So we have to remember that. Whenever someone is imposing their will on you, whether it be a family member or, I don't know, the United Nations, whatever, imposing your will on another person is usually coming from a place of fear because they are afraid that you're not going to react in a specific way, just the same way you would impose your will on someone else. You're imposing your will because you're unhappy with the actions that someone is doing. Now, there's a time and a place for imposing your will, and that is as a parent, dealing with a sick older parent. For safety purposes, I can understand that. Imposing your will for the safety and the benefit and well-being of another person that might be harming themselves, I can understand that. But coming from a magical perspective, imposing our will, and forgive me, no, don't forgive me. I don't need forgiveness. The idea of imposing your will on another person is considered gray magic, and for good is considered gray magic. Imposing your will for harm is considered black magic. But aligning your will with the will of the universe, the will of source, the will of your higher self is what, by definition, we would call black magic. And this is all loosely termed, paraphrasing things that I've read and things that I feel. But the point is that resistance only leads to more trouble, especially when we're coming from a place of fear and anger. So what I would like to recommend is the next time you find yourself either being anxious or resisting something that the TV said or whatnot, say, okay, this is happening. This is being said. Let me calm myself. Let me connect with my divine self, my power of creation. And within my divine power of creation, what can I do to bring balance and harmony to it? That's a lot to ask for some people. And yes, it takes practice. And sometimes you'll forget, and sometimes you forget you can use it in every instance, as I forgot I could do it with anxiety. Okay, anxiety. All right, it's here. What can I do about it? Well, I can go lay down for 5 minutes and take a few deep breaths. Hey, that works. And it did work, by the way, on a personal note. So today's, anyway, with that being said, it's time for our weekly spell and intention. And what I'd like to invite you to do today with this, and by all means, you're welcome to do your intention and your weekly spell for anything that you'd like or anything you feel, but may I suggest that we do today's intention on creating a more accepting and clear-minded and proactive mindset in when we are faced with adversity. You get surprise news that you're not liking, you're resisting it, you're get a flat tire, you don't like it, you're resisting it, whatever it may be. You'd be surprised how much we resist throughout our day. So take a moment and I'll give us the mantra of I am in alignment with my higher self. I am in acceptance and I am in clarity. I'm in alignment with my higher self and I am in clarity. We'll keep that simple. I'm in alignment with my higher self and I am in clarity. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your belly. Pause and exhale. Again, taking a deep, deep breath in through your belly. Pause and exhale. One more deep, deep breath in through your nose, into your belly. And just return to your normal breathing rhythm. And I'd like you to imagine and visualize yourself in one of these instances where you find yourself resisting it. It could be a flat tire. It could be bad news from a phone call or a text. It could be something you saw on a cable news network. It could be something you received in the mail. But pick one of these. Okay. And as you allow this vision of this resistance creating type of situation, see yourself going, huh, okay, it is what it is. I am calm. I am aligned with my higher self. And I am in clarity. So again, see yourself receiving that new information, but see and feel yourself connected to your higher self, feeling calm, coming from a place of clarity. Notice how easily you're handling the situation, how your central nervous system isn't getting all tight, but you're relaxed. And begin to say to yourself, I am calm. See yourself calm. I'm aligned with my higher self. Feel yourself aligned with source consciousness. I am in clarity, thinking clearly, not reacting, calm, aligned with your higher self, in clarity, calm, aligned with your higher self, in clarity. Take a deep breath in. Allow the thought form to rise above you as we repeat, I am calm. I am aligned with my higher self. I am in clarity. So mote it be. Great job. Great job. Anyway, so it's a new year, new you, new us. fairly new show. Anyway, I'd love to pop on the chat and say hello to a few of you. Let's see. Well, hello there. Sugar Venom Doll is joining us live on YouTube. Daryl Sanders is on YouTube. Hello. Lubin Genov on YouTube. Wow, no one on Facebook saying hello. Okay. Anyway, hello, Elizabeth and Patricia also. It's great to see you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So we are back to our regular schedule. I don't plan on having any time off over the next several weeks or whatnot. So I will see. Oh, hello, Marianne on Facebook. Howdy. Good to see you. Anyway, so I will be back next week, regular time. I just want to please remind you, if you have not yet, you can become a supporter of mine on Patreon. You can become a supporter of mine on Facebook. You can become a supporter of mine on YouTube. Whatever your favorite platform is that you join me here as well, you are welcome to join us on my website and join my community over there called The Grove. Just go to bernardalvarez.com, click on the Grove tab. Or actually, I believe it's bernardalvarez.com/grove if you want to try that. Anyway, but absolutely. And Elizabeth, yes, I most certainly can. I would suggest you book an appointment with me for an intuitive counseling session, and we can definitely work on that. I'd be more than happy to help you. Anyway, everyone, let's do our closing words, and I will see you soon. So, our last mini meditation, take a deep breath in with me. Be gone from me, worry and woe. I have the strength to break free and the wisdom to know. As I breathe in this sacred day, my calm will grow. I call upon my inner guide to help me take it slow. My serenity and tranquility will overflow with harm to none, blessings to all. So mote it be, blessed be. I love you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you then. Bye bye.